So the next morning is a rather rainy, little chilly morning. But
no tree flipping today.
But the innkeep, you guys come down and you're the only ones there in the morning, and she makes you a nice breakfast. She goes, if the Inquisition's paying for it, right?
Yep.
For Majid, she brings a tasty gruel. Everybody else, she makes eggs and
ooh, where did you get these goose eggs at? Oh my gosh, I haven't.
We have a lot of geese. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. I will already be securing some more provisions.
Coffee.
She brings
she
brings a local. Well, it's not really coffee. It's some sort of local plant that has some kind of mild stimulant. They call it clava.
What?
If it's hot, drink it.
Yep.
Is it more of a steep situation?
It's more of a steep situation.
Sniff it and go, you got any wine?
He says, yes, we have wine.
It's quite bracing. I really recommend it, and I'll push it back to her, trying to get her to drink a cup anyway.
Okay.
All right.
If there's coffee, I will drink coffee.
It's clava.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll drink clava then.
And then after breakfast, you are greeted outside to a nice drizzle as you guys make your way to the bridge. And then beyond the bridge, you find the creek, and then you go up the creek and you find the highlands, and you don't make it as far as the crooked tree that's been split by lightning. So you imagine you've got the right hill.
Excellent.
And there is an old, not very well used path that heads up a part of this hill. And then eventually, that's not what I was trying to do. You are greeted with this entrance to what you imagine is the tomb of Calook the Cruel.
That is stereotypically intimidating.
And oddly familiar at the same time.
Oddly.
What?
Yes.
Oddly.
I told you it's dwarves.
Looking carefully,
Clearly
are the
dwarven.
rocks just weirdly face-shaped, or were they actually worked?
Oh, they were worked, yeah. I mean, once upon a time...
Don't like the look of it.
This might have been a little bit more impressive. A lot of it is crumbling and whatnot, but it was definitely worked and made to look like this on purpose.
You have to wonder about someone who would ask for that to be their tomb. You equally have to wonder about people who would make that someone's tomb.
I think it looks quite charming.
Is there a door?
Charming?
Aye.
Yeah, the mouth is basically the opening of the place, and as you approach, you see that it has basically some stairs leading downward into a large chamber.
Does any sun penetrate down the stairs into the chamber?
A little bit. Let me show you.
But it's torches. We'll need light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for the dwarf who's got dark vision. You can basically see. So
I have that too, right? No.
Elves?
Oh no, light vision.
Low
light vision.
Yeah, you need a little bit of light to keep it going. So, and as you, basically these rugged stone stairs descend down into the darkness, and as you light a torch or bring out the ever-burning torch or whatever, you see that the stairs have been worn by the years and the rainfall. The air is heavy with the smell of mildew tinged with decay. And then as...
So we're all still outside.
Yeah,
entrance,
yeah.
Correct.
But as you light some torches, you see that it is a pretty large chamber. It's massive, ancient, and dank. Light dances on the walls and the vaulted ceiling of this place, illuminating roughly carved faces and bodies that seem to shimmy and contort with each flicker. The faces are grotesque and diabolical. Some laugh, some howl, while others aggressively display their crooked teeth or wicked fangs. The chiseled bodies contort in some form of fornication or lurid dance. From each corner and crevice, grayish-green mold, clings, and fingers of pale fungi stretch forth.
Well, this looks like a fun place.
Fun place. I will grab the biggest rock nearby that I can, and I'm going to chuck it in there and make some noise.
Okay.
Kind of test out things.
Yeah, you find a good-sized rock right at the entrance and throw it in there, and you hear a clank, clank, clank. One of the things that you do notice as it clank, clank, clanks, you don't think it has anything to do with it, but from the distance, you see basically some sort of weird green light strobes from somewhere in the chamber beyond.
That looks unnatural, but also evokes the witch, perhaps.
Hey, the Green Witch, I told you. So Gandalf's going to step in out of the rain.
Perhaps
he's going to step into the entrance there, out of the rain.
Okay.
Hand on heart, how long does Sun Rod last?
I believe it lasts an hour.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if someone wants me to use those, I have no problem using any of my stuff. I don't have a ton of gear, but I do have 5 Sun Rods.
I have the ever-burning torch, if that...
From an economy's sake, that's probably the best thing to use.
Yep, I'll just light that and have that on hand.
So
is there a way to carry that without using up one of my hands?
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't actually.
Oh, okay. I'll hand it to your character there.
I'll use it now. Does my monk, again, sorry for the rules clarification. Does my monk? He has unarmed, right?
Yes.
Does he have something like improvised weapon? Could he use this torch as a?
Wait, monk?
Well, he's a cleric monk multi-class.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I just wondered if I could use this as a weapon if I needed to.
You could. Your fists are better.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you for that, Stephen. I'd rather have at least one thing I can do optimally.
Okay, I will hand my torch over and do with this as you will. Fire won't do anything.
I will cast light into the darkness, woman. That's what I will do.
There we go. I thought I moved you guys over to the map, but I did not. So as the light illuminates the bottom chamber, you do notice that towards the right there seems to be a passage heading in a southerly direction, and then beyond that shadow is where you see the strobe of the green light, which occurs infrequently and at not regular intervals.
Just as a quick note, I need control of Gendel there, Stephen.
So who's moving tokens?
I did.
Me too.
You probably need to swap. I bet you probably don't have control of the G there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
Maybe.
I have to.
Oh my gosh.
So just so everybody knows, my standard, like when I'm carrying a torch, I try to stay toward the middle of the group so that we're not leading with the torch or have a torch out behind us. So if you want me to move somewhere else, otherwise I'll kind of just stay toward the middle to provide illumination all around.
But Gendel has a torch, or do you also have a torch?
I have an ever-burning torch given to me by Niall.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Gendel. Sorry.
And I'm happy to carry a torch and not carry a weapon. So.
Because you're punchy.
Yep.
I will sling down my shield, speaking of which, just in case. I mean, it looks reasonably safe. Draw my sword, just in case.
Yeah, I'll have my short sword in hand.
So this room, quote unquote, with the T-junction coming off it to the south, it's the one that looks like the cover of Number of the Beast, right? It's got all the like demonic orgy, twisting, dancing, creatures on it?
Yes.
Yes.
Good times.
If you double click, Stephen, you should be able to get the menu that says shared by, or
Sorry.
editable.
Oh, thanks. I'd forgotten how to do this in the.
No sorry.
So what is everybody's standard operating procedure to like? Who goes in front?
that's
Who goes in
weird.
back? Do we do bounding Overwatch or what?
I tend to go in front if I can.
That's
No, it's
great.
not letting me click anything. Let me.
I can move quickly enough that even if I'm in the back, I can still run forward.
I tend to hang out toward the back or against a
There
wall
we go.
as to not be able to be snuck up upon.
Okay. Oh, Elf of the Woods.
Oh, Lady Elf.
Yes.
She
Where
shoots
do you,
people.
where do you generally hang out in the cluster of the group? Front, back?
I don't have a preference. Like
Cool.
middle?
Are you going to use ranged weapons?
Yes.
Middle would be great.
There we
Middle.
go.
Yeah.
I'd like to be not near the torch.
Not near fire.
Not put any. Not
But
put
it's
any
magic fire. It's
heat
not
out of the
fire
I just
fire.
can't see.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Everybody else can move their tokens just fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I'll go this time.
I got it. Thanks, Steven.
You're welcome. All right. So as you guys move in a little bit more, and the light illuminates the rest of the chamber, you see at the far edge of the chamber, it looks like it has collapsed a bit. The green light is coming from what looks like a hole in the wall about there. And below it,
effects.
yeah, there's on those various rocks and everything else, there seems to be scorch marks coming out from that area.
Ooh,
I will quickly run over here past the entrance to get my light a little further away from the dwarf.
Okay.
And I'm not going to really do anything over there. I'm just going to get out of the way to that side.
Okay. Oh, I'm just bursting all over the place.
With flavor.
As you go past with your light source and everything else, you get a better view of that southern passageway.
Mhm.
And it basically goes 10 feet, and then it ends in what looks like a big block of iron.
I point down silently and I make the sound for door or
Okay.
something, you know.
You got crazy hand signals going.
Majid went
I will
tactical.
investigate said door.
Okay.
I'd like to
Yeah,
take
you-
a look at the green light.
You head over towards the door. So the one thing you notice is it looks like, at least in parts of the past, somebody has tried to like either just chop through this door, but it's so big and massive. It's rusted in places, definitely worn away a bit with age, but it looks pretty solid.
This
Is
door
there
very
anything?
old.
Is there anything thiefable, like in the sculptures on the wall and whatnot? Any gems? Any
No, in
fun
fact,
decorations that I could steal?
basically, as you kind of poke around and take a look around, the only thing that grows out of the sort of nooks and crannies of this place is mold and fungus.
Would Elfie, Mick Elferson, know anything about this?
She could make a nature check, give you an assessment of
Okay.
what kind of shrooms you've got.
Is this down at the end where I'm standing there?
Yes.
Cool.
So the rock and everything there is scorched. As you get to that area, the smell of decay grows a bit, and you notice there are basically some scattering of bones and
22.
some what looks like burnt flesh that lie amid parts of the rubble.
That's unusual.
And you got a
That's
22.
not the kids.
Yeah, taking a look at this fungus, it's all just typical run-of-the-mill stuff that will grow in caves with enough dampness. There's nothing special about the fungus,
Okay.
and
Just
you
making
definitely
sure.
don't want to eat it.
Nothing interesting about this fungus, Stephen?
Nothing interesting.
Unfortunately, man.
Nothing enlightening
We
about
live
this.
fungus in the morning.
Yeah. Right after your morning wine.
Yum yum.
She is not lawful good.
So
She is not. She is not.
The other thing that you notice is you come across Majid is the glow comes from a hole in the wall that's about 6 feet up.
Right there where we're standing at the end.
Yeah, basically.
I hand my torch to the dwarf standing next to me, completely ruining his dark vision.
Yep.
and I jump up on the wall using my cat-like monk moves and peer through the opening.
Okay. It's actually pretty easy. There's a good amount of rubble and footholds and everything else.
Okay.
And so you get up where you're at eye level with this hole, and the hole's about this big.
Mm-hmm.
And inside is kind of this nook, the bottom of which is got a lot of standing water that smells a bit of sulfur. And at the other end of the nook is this crystal that's embedded into the stone, and it is the thing that occasionally bursts green.
I turn to the dwarf. Give me the torch. You climb up here and check this thing out, man.
I'm going to so underworld lore. Stephen, is that?
That's more like criminals.
Bones. Oh, actual criminal underworld.
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of underworld.
I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend.
That's awesome. There's a little thief in there. Hey, I got something to tell.
Yeah. So it's 6 feet up.
Yeah, it's about 6 feet up.
He said there was plenty of rubble.
Yeah.
I'm around 4 feet taller, so I scramble up as best I can and look.
Okay, I'm sure Majid will give you a boost if you need so. So yeah, you look in there, and it's exactly as I described. The standing water and this crystal that just every once in a while sort of glows green.
Be careful, man. If it was easy to get, someone would have already gotten it.
I'm wondering if these bones and skin aren't other people that have tried.
Yeah, it is funky up in here.
How old? So I come back down. How old are the bones? I mean, are they? You said there's still flesh around there, so it's fairly recent.
Yeah, there's a little bits of putrefying flesh. It seems somewhat recent, although it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly how recent. But you have a medicine, so go ahead and make me a medicine check.
Okay. That would be 6. All right. Hey,
good.
I'm on a roll.
Woo!
Nice.
Yeah, so you take a look at the bits and pieces of this. The first thing that you notice, and you can notice basically from a bit of skull that you have found, that these are not humans. These might be orcs or hobgoblins. And you think that this happened maybe in the last week, no more than last month.
Oh. Keep your heads out for orcs. I hate orcs. Okay, yeah, so I relay that information. These appear to be about a week old. And they're definitely not human or dwarf.
I have to admit, the first time that devils and demons were mentioned in this whole thing, I got a weird feeling. There could be some sort of... Who knows what these things are then, if they're not human or dwarf.
I got a bit of a tingle myself. All right. Okay.
What killed them?
Looks like burns, right?
Yeah,
like
it does. Yeah. It definitely looks like they were burnt apart by some sort of powerful flame.
I think it was the Green Witch. She's still here. Keep your eyes open.
It is a green glow. That's an important clue.
Trust you all in the arcane secrets far better than myself. So.
Guys, let's try to problem solve this door.
Well, I think I could lift it, perhaps, maybe with a little help.
I don't think we need to mess with the green glow thing. We can get it on the way out.
Tis tempting.
Okay.
Hey, Steven, I was looking at the description just for my edification on Detect Magic. Doesn't look like it tells you what type of magic anymore. Is there
No,
skill for that?
Yeah, you would make a religion check for that. So you cast Detect Magic to know that there's magic somewhere in the room, and then you would make a...
Well,
Okay.
he's the wizard now, right? So
You're a
Arcane,
wizard,
Arcana.
I don't have.
Well, he's a sorcerer with a...
So- Oh, does he have like a divine sort of? Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
As far as you know, yes.
Totally divine. So divine. Okay, got it.
So divine.
Okay, so I'm if I can, I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll go on to the iron door.
Okay.
So I'll cast Detect Magic. Look,
Well,
I'm
there's
assuming
definitely
that
magic.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm assuming it's going to glow, and then I'll see if I can figure out what type of magic that's. Oh, all right, 21.
21. So yeah, you definitely pinpoint that that gem itself, the crystal, is magic, and it is definitely some evocation and a little bit of enchantment.
Oh, very nice. I'd like to take it, but I think it might blow me up, so I'm going to leave it.
What?
Evocation's not really my specialty. Okay, and then I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I'll relay that information, but essentially leave it alone after that.
Oh,
And let's
that was
see, Galenthal, you've been checking out this slab of iron.
Yes, although I typed my thing wrong. Sorry.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, that's not great. Not great.
So as you've been checking this out, you are pretty sure it would take a lot of work, but this thing is meant to be lifted up in some way. And then you take it upon yourself to give it a try, and that gave you a twinge in your back. But you're able to straighten it out. Yeah, it's gonna take a bit more than that.
I will take out my crowbar this time.
All right.
And try again.
Okay, so you take out the crowbar, and it looks like Niall is going to come up.
Can I once he gets the crowbar be like, get out of the way, let a woman take care of this?
Oh, by all means, please.
Yeah,
Would
all
that be athletics or strength or what?
That would be athletics.
Sweet.
Listen to it. Have you seen what she does to orcs?
Yeah,
Pops their head right off.
this is nothing.
Oops, I forgot to add my 7. That would be a 17.
That would be a 17. So as you're kind of trying to lift this thing up, you realize...
Okay, can I really try really hard? Because now that I've said let a woman do this,
All right.
I can't not let it happen.
You're going to give it another shot because you're like, man, I just can't get some traction in there. So you want to make another roll before he notices that you
Yeah.
botched that one? I wouldn't call it a botch.
Oh dear God.
I'm
and
gonna
now your back's hurting a
discreetly-
lot, too.
She's
Wait,
like
wait, wait.
levering on it. I'm
Oh.
gonna push down behind her, but try not to let on that I'm helping.
Okay.
There's my
Dear
athletics.
Lord, really?
22.
22. All right.
Wow.
And so are you doing this with the crowbar or no?
Yeah, the crowbar.
All right. So yeah, you notice she's really struggling with it. She doesn't want to struggle with it, but she gets it up just enough, just before her back goes, where you can get the crowbar under it, and basically with your foot and your arm, you get probably about this much open. Although it's really hard to keep it up, so you're already shaking.
Oh, thank you for getting that started. I couldn't have done it without you.
If I get 3 actions, could I try a third time to push it again? Like get my shoulder up underneath it or something?
Yeah. So you're gonna come in and try to lift it up and help out.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make that athletics check.
Let's try this again. There we go.
There we go.
Girl power.
So that's pretty good. All of a sudden, you're even with the help of the crowbar, you're starting to shake a bit. But Niall comes and she gets it open where it's nearly 2 feet above the ground right now. But both of you are now straining as this thing is super heavy.
I'm so glad you didn't actually have your way with that priest. Just imagining what she would have done with her biceps like that.
So you got Niall and Galenthal who are lifting this thing up. Let's see. Yelena, you are right under them. Go ahead and or right behind them. Make me a perception check, please.
Oh, no. Sorry. Oh, what's my perception?
+7.
It's up on top. Yeah, up towards the top by language.
What?
About 3 inches down on the top left corner.
+7.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's
right.
it's sectioned out so weird. All right. Oh my god.
Just arrow up and take the dot out. You'll be fine.
That doesn't. There it is.
Ooh,
There
nice.
you
go.
All right.
Very nice.
So, yeah, you get a glance of what's beyond this thing, and there is a corridor that continues to head south. To the right of the door of the block, just beyond it, there is a couple of what look like chain mechanisms that maybe can be used as a counterweight to this block of iron your friends are holding up.
I'm gonna slide under the door. Guys, keep it up.
Okay, you slide under the door. Go ahead and make me an acrobatics check.
Yeah, don't roll bad because we'll knock one of us out of the way.
Bold move. I love it. Yep.
It's not high, but you've got to kind of squeeze in between your two friends and under this door, and it could fall back down at any minute because your friends are...
Good.
Make it across very easy. In fact, you make it over so well, you're able to grab one of the chains and figure out it is a counterweight mechanism. And before your friends drop the iron block, you're able to pull it up fully open with a clink, 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 clink.
Oh,
With a
thank
loud
you, boss.
mechanism.
Like, yeah. Ow.
Yes.
Go me. Yeah.
Majid, I might need that massage technique you do later.